Well, love it or hate it, I think it's about that time. Today we're going to be checking out my top 10 winter designer fragrances for 2022 going into 2023. It's really been cooling off substantially here, and it's starting to feel more so like winter rather than fall. And so now I'm kind of starting to gravitate towards and reach towards my even heavier, stronger, richer scents compared to what I've been wearing in the fall when the temperatures are a little bit more mild. You know, obviously the actual start of winter is still a little whiles away, but if you're like me and it's starting to get very cold, this will help you out. Or if you want to get ahead of the game and start picking some stuff up now to get ready for winter a little bit later on, then this video is going to come in perfect time. So being that this is my designer list, I'm trying to keep it as affordable as I can. I've got a whole bunch of different price ranges in here, so that way no matter what your budget is, you're going to be able to find something that you like. And I'll tell you real quick as well, each year that goes by, this does not get any easier to do. I find myself having to leave out some fragrances because they just don't really fit in anymore when I have a lot of other things. And so it doesn't get any easier. Trust me, I've really kind of gone back and forth on this. So this is its final form right now. That's not to say that this couldn't change. And that's not to say that this is the only 10 winter fragrances I'm going to be wearing. That's definitely not true. There's many others I'm going to have in rotation, but these are probably going to be getting the most amount of attention. Links will be down below. Deals will be on the community page. If you guys are not subscribed yet, you've been missing out on some great deals. You've been missing out on $500 giveaways and a whole bunch of rare stuff that comes up. Post deals every day. If you want to get those deals via email, you can sign up down below. Let's just get right into it though. We're going to start off with the cheapie. At number 10, we have Ferragamo F Black. So my bottle got busted. I don't know how well this is going to show up, but the top portion is plastic, and I dropped another bottle on top of this, and it got busted. The plastic went flying. I thought it was glass. Luckily, it wasn't, but hey, it still works. You can usually get this one for about $25, $30 online, and this is a divisive one, believe it or not. Some people really struggle with this. And really what it is it's a lavender and black pepper bomb. It's masculine, it's spicy, it's strong, it's in your face, it's abrasive. There's nothing sweet and pretty and dainty about this scent. No matter how many times you try to get that across to people, I just think sometimes it doesn't sink in. So this is me saying, if you want an affordable scent, but that is very strong and very masculine and very peppery and spicy, then there's no reason why you wouldn't like this one. At number 9, we have Hugo Boss Bottled Oud. So this has really been climbing the ranks for me on the designer side, on the warm, spicy, sweet side. Every time I smell it, I like it more and more. It has that original Boss bottle DNA, but with a little bit of oud. Not too much, not too overbearing, still very designer level, and it's definitely a designer level synthetic oud, but it doesn't smell too cheaply made, especially for the price point, $55, $56 on discounters, but it still primarily is all about the cinnamon apple smell that you get from this DNA. You know, Hugo Boss Bottled Intense would have been a great pick for this video or for fall, but they don't make that anymore. So this is one of your next best bets if you want to get that DNA, but the oud kind of makes it a little bit more heavy and rich, and I kind of like it for the wintertime. At number 8, we have Dolce & Gabbana The One Royal Night. So this is one of the few Dolce & Gabbana The One fragrances I would choose to wear in the wintertime when I'm out and about. Now, the One Eau de Parfum is going to get used heavily by me this season. It already has been throughout fall, and that's not going to stop. But my primary use for that one is evenings. Kicking it around the house, maybe going out for a dinner or something later on in the evening. Even when it's cold out, I don't need a ton of performance for situations like that, and so it works. But during the day or times where I do want something that holds up in the cold better, I would go with something like Royal Night or Luminous Night or even Mysterious Night. I just kind of threw this one in because it's the easiest to get, and I do wear it a lot. It's got sandalwood, a little bit of amber in here, some spices, some other woods, no tobacco, but it still gets you very close to that DNA, but it's better performing and a really nice one to have around for honestly not a lot of money. At number 7, we have Ultra Male. So I was kind of going back and forth between this and Le Male Parfum, and it could go either way. That's what I was saying in the beginning. These videos just keep getting tougher to make as I continue to add things, as brands continue to come out with more amazing flankers. It really gets tough. This also made it in my fall list, and I didn't want that to sway my choice of putting it in this video. Le Male Parfum made it in my video last winter for my top 10 winter designers. And so I figured, hey, I'm just going to roll with it anyway, because believe it or not, I am going to be hitting this one heavily in the winter time. I've been wearing it pretty consistently throughout the fall, and it works so well in mild temperatures like that I can continue to wear it into wintertime when it gets even colder, and it still holds up great just because of how strong and sweet it is. If you're on a budget, you could go for something like Afnan 9 PM. Whatever you choose, it's a really nice, sweet, fun, playful DNA for the cold weather. Number 6, we have a really, really fantastic coffee fragrance. This stuff here might become one of my favorite designer coffee scents. This is an easily overlooked fragrance, which is a bummer, and you can get it for a really good price on discounters. I will link it down below. Robert Graham Valor. So this has only 3 notes, at least that they give us. It's got amber, coffee, and sage, but it's really all about the amber and the coffee. A little bit of the sage, but really that's not the important player. The amber coffee mixture is just downright absolutely gorgeous. This stuff is potent. It packs a punch. It has a lot of impact when you first spray it on. Coffee right off the bat. It's not like one of those designer fragrances that lists off coffee and then you kind of just trick yourself into, thinking, oh yeah, I smell a little bit of coffee, maybe just a little bit, when in reality it's not that strong. That's not what this is. This is straight up coffee, and there's even like a cardamom accord as well, at least to me, even though they don't say that outright. I believe you can get a 100 ml bottle like this for $67, $68. It does retail for $90, $95, so pretty good savings on discounters. Can't recommend this enough if you're a coffee lover like I am and you don't want to jump over to some super expensive niche coffee scent just yet. Now, breaking into the top 5, this is where it got even more challenging, like it does every year. Top 5 and then top 3, it's really where a lot of the swapping around is going on. At the end of the day, I'll tell you this, the order from here on out doesn't really matter so much. Really, for the whole video, it doesn't. When you look at how much I have to choose from, just any of these, the fact that they're in here means something. But as you go further on, just know that everything from here on out is pretty much as close as you can get to perfect in my eyes. And we're going to start it off with L'Homme Ideal Eau de Parfum. Cherry, almond, and vanilla. Such a unique scent. Now, this is going to be technically niche or whatever you want to call it. I'm just kind of going off a price point for this video here. $100, sometimes a little bit less if you're lucky on discounters, so not out of the ordinary for designer pricing. My niche video will have things that are going much further in the opposite direction of price, much more expensive. And I didn't want to put this in that video, so it's going to go here. But I really do think this stuff is amazing. So just unique and different for what you get, and it works great in wintertime. Could also put in L'Homme Ideal Extreme, which is probably my favorite overall, but that one is even more difficult to get. And so for just the sake of this video and being fair to you guys, I'm going with the EDP because you'll have at least a fighting chance of picking that one up a lot easier. All right, number 4, Stronger With You, absolutely. So this one is kind of one of those scents that's in and out, back and forth, in stock, out of stock, back and forth all the time. So if it's not in stock right now, don't worry, it will be back, I promise you. And that's why you should subscribe, because as soon as it comes back in stock, I post about it. And it happens often, I post about it often, and it always sells out quick. So make sure you hit those email notifications, make sure you're subscribed and checking the video or the community tab. But this is number 4. It's got chestnut, rum, vanilla. It just has that Stronger With You DNA with a little bit of a booziness, a little bit of a sweetness, even more so in that direction, but also still being a little bit more mature and refined. I love it. This is kind of one of those guilty pleasures almost, where it's like, yeah, it's super sweet and probably labeled as super basic at this point, but I love it, especially when it's cold outside. There's something so warm and comforting about this one. At number 3, we have Gentleman Eau de Parfum Reserve Privé. So a newer release here for sure. And it was pretty much a no-brainer. I'm like, this has impressed me in such a great way to where I had to put it in here. Also has chestnut. It's got whiskey, but then iris. A little bit of tonka bean as well. A little bit of a chocolatey smell. So it fits into your sweet iris DNA, but it does separate itself enough from the others to kind of just go alongside them, basically. So what I'm saying is there's really no redundancy between like this and, like a Valentino Uomo Intense or a Dior Homme Intense, because this one does go in a more gourmand direction and, again, a boozy direction, which none of the other sweet iris fragrances have, at least none of the hyped up ones. So if that's kind of what you're after, go for this one. I mean, when I smell this, I think of the holidays. I think of just staying inside with friends and family, just having some festive drinks and just trying to make the best out of a cold, gloomy winter season. I mean, this is so relaxing and inviting and warming and just addicting that I had to choose this for winter. At number 2, no surprise, I don't think there will ever be a time where this does not make my videos, my winter ones, that is Spice Bomb Extreme. I've said it before, I'll say it again. One of the best tobacco and vanilla designer fragrances on the market. And I'll clarify a little bit further and say in the designer price range, because you could swing that and say that, oh, Tobacco Vanille could be in there because Tom Ford is a designer, and that's true. Tom Ford is a designer. Tobacco Vanille is an amazing tobacco and vanilla scent, but that's $200+ online for 50 ml at discounters. So significantly more expensive on the designer side, and designer price, one of the best that you can buy. There's some black pepper to go along with that tobacco and vanilla, but it's really all about the tobacco and the vanilla. The black pepper is giving it some of the spiciness that's traditional to the brand, or to the DNA rather, the Spice Bomb DNA. But I mean, this just never gets old. It never ceases to amaze me how drop dead gorgeous this one is. It smells amazing in the air like that, but when you get this on your skin and your body temperature is kind of starting to work it and warm it up, it gets just drop dead gorgeous. And this is an amazing wintertime scent. Great performance, cuts through the air. Another one that's festive and smells like the holidays. You gotta have this one. And number 1, it hasn't been featured yet in the video, and so here it is now. It's Dior Homme Intense. So yeah, there's 2 heavy hitter iris fragrances in the top 3, and no, I don't care whatsoever. Might be redundant for some people, even though, again, when you're taking a look at the 2 side by side, I don't think there's a redundancy, but yeah, maybe to some people, featuring 2 iris fragrances that close together in a list could be redundant, and it might make some people feel very sad on the inside. But this is my list, and at the end of the day, this is based off of what I'm going to be wearing the most and what I'm going to be most excited to wear the most as we continue to progress further into wintertime. I think on the designer side and the designer price point, Dior Homme Intense is still one of the best purchases you can make if you want a nice, sweet iris fragrance. And maybe you don't want some of the booziness, maybe you don't want some of the chestnut gourmand tendencies like the Givenchy. There's definitely pros and cons to each. There's different situations in which you could wear each one. For me, this is going to be probably worn more, because it's at number 1. I'm probably going to be wearing this more, but primarily because it's kind of a comfort scent for me. So it's one that not only will I wear out and about, but it's also one that I wear heavily at home in the evening. Like I might just wear this when I'm done shooting this video and before I go to bed. It's just one of those things. I just always have this stuff on my skin in the fall and winter time. Take a break from it in the summer, obviously, but this time of year, I just can't get enough of this stuff, and I think it's amazing. Alrighty guys, that's going to do it for me. My top 10 winter designer fragrances for this year moving into next. It's hard, and I feel sad about the ones that I have to leave out because I love so many fragrances, but that's kind of is what it is. I could do this video with 10 or 15 honorable mentions and then have a top 10, but that would be completely stupid. So here's what it is right now. Links will be down below. That's going to do it for me. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.